All right, welcome guys. This is, I think, my fourth or third video recorded today. Anyways, let's talk about the progressed sun. This is a very, very important subject. So let's get into it. Roll the intro. All right, welcome. So today I want to talk about the progressed sun. So if you don't know what this is, you can go on Google, search, calculate my progressed chart, and it's essentially your evolved self, right? It doesn't replace your natal chart. The whole idea is, let's say, easy example, if you are 30 years old exactly, your progressed chart will be exactly how the sky was 30 days after your birth. So it's the theory that for each day equals a year. So I've already made a video about the progressed moon, but the progressed sun is extremely important. The same goes for progressed Mars, and mainly any shifts, right? So what do I mean by this? So the progressed sun, just like the sun in our everyday life, it moves 1 degree per day. So the progressed sun moves 1 degree per year. So that means that it takes 30 years for the progressed sun to change signs. So it only happens a few times in our lifetimes. These are massive transformations and changes in our identity and in our lives. The progressed moon, as I talked about in the other video, I'm not sure what cosmos session it is, but you can just go back in the catalog and look. And it's very important to know your progressed moon sign, because that is essentially your emotional compass. It's the only way we can really use the moon in predictive astrology. So, check that video out. But progressed sun is different, right? The progressed moon is every 2.5 years that it switches, right? So it stays in a house, or more so a sign, depending on what house system you use. 2.5 years. Progressed sun is 30. But here's the thing. Let's say you're like me, right? I'm a 28-degree Pisces sun. So only for the first 2 years of my life, I had my progressed sun in Pisces. Then, so I'm 34 now, and it was only so the first 2 years. It was only 2 years ago that it switched from Aries to Taurus. So my whole life I had my progressed sun in Aries. And let me tell you, that shift may have, when we talk about the most impactful, astrological occurrences that happen in our life, I'm telling you, when everything shifted for me to Taurus. And I have no Earth in my chart, right? And Earth is that grounding force. So people who don't have Earth, they tend to have a lot of, it's not easy to be consistent. It's not easy to be grounded. It did coincide with my Saturn return, but what I will say is that it changed everything, right? I've been way more responsible. Like, I'm gonna be really honest with you guys, and maybe I'll start to do this more in these YouTube videos, because my thing with YouTube, with Instagram, I made videos for a long time, and I've always been very, very honest, very transparent, talking about all kinds of things that maybe other people would not feel comfortable talking about. I'm a very open book, and I've actually, speaking of book, I've written a book. It's called Pisces Live 9 Lives. It's not a book about me. It's not a book about astrology. It's a really a book that's kind of like. I can talk about it some other time, but it's like a map of my mind when I was in my Saturn return, of what I think is the most important thing. Anyways, I have always been a crazy guy. Maybe it's hard to tell because I'm an astrologer, a male astrologer, but I nearly died 8 times, right? And this is like another thing. Like I've lived an extremely interesting and unique life, and that's not a flex. That's like, I should be dead. Maybe I'll make a video about that, or you can read my book. Only the first 2 chapters talk about that. It's on every international Amazon. Pisces Live 9 Lives. But I have always been like a party boy. Sag Moon. Always very very talented and a good person, right? Like it's never like I was never doing immoral things necessarily when I had that lifestyle, but I just was, Aries is that crazy fire energy, right? So, and this video is not about me. I'm giving myself as an example, but people like when I talk about myself, and I stopped doing it, but now I'm I'll do it a little bit more. But anyways, so with the Saturn return, obviously, yeah, that's going to be a time when most people mature or start to kind of move into truly being an adult. But it was really, really when that progressed sun finally moved to Taurus. But let me tell you one thing too: that 29-degree mark of your progressed sun, that year is crazy because it's like you're trying to kind of fit everything that you haven't accomplished with respect to that 30-year cycle into that period. The metaphor I always use is like, if you studied for the test, it might not be so hard, but if you haven't, it can feel like cramming, like just like a lot. It's the final test, right? So if you studied, like maybe it'll be easier for you. But anyways, the groundedness, going from like the crazy Aries energy, right? Which coincides with, I have a lot of fire energy. Come on, Esme. Yeah. Maybe we'll talk about Esme's progressed sun. Well, she's very young, so I don't know if she'll ever have one. Because she's kind of at the start of Cancer. Here's my little baby. But yeah, so like it was just like for example, like I had the habit of going out like a lot of weekends, or just partying. It was kind of like a slow like reduction in how often I went out and got drunk and did, it was all in good fun, but it was really like that progressed sun. It changed me from like such a deep level to where like I just didn't even like it anymore. And I still go out, like I have a concert tomorrow, but this is one of my favorite artists, right? I'm like passionate about electronic music. If you know anything about me, I listen to it, all the time when I work out, and just it's done so much for me on an energetic level. So, like that's kind of like my social life, right? Like I work a lot. I spend a lot of time alone. I spend a lot of time with these schmooks, as I call them. There's 3 of them, but she's the one that always comes for the astrology, and you should follow her at Esme, EZME, Catstrology on Instagram. She's doing really good work. She just posted her October photo dump with an astrology little update by Esme. And she actually does help me with readings. I've talked about it in here before, and people who follow me know that I'm not even lying. But yeah, so that was crazy. I became a very just like a very, even though like Taurus isn't Saturn, that's Capricorn. I became like I truly became an adult, just way more consistent with whatever I'm doing. And I have been going through like a bunch of crazy Neptune transits, but the whole point is that my evolving identity shifted from that Aries that's always having to do something and just moving around doing so much and like still being an introverted Pisces sun, right? But just that Taurus energy. And then when you look at your progressed sun, you also want to see what house it's in. Now there's the progressed chart, which is separate than where that falls in your natal chart. So Taurus is my 10th house, right? So obviously it's still at 2 degrees Taurus, so it's gonna be another 22 years until it's at my midheaven. But so yeah, I guess it's technically in my 9th house. But yeah, it's definitely you know, the ability to leave that. I guess, kind of think of it, you know, it really, like, I'm thinking about the whole sign plastic system, but the point is that 0 degrees, 29 degrees of your progressed sun, you should know where your progressed sun is compared to your progressed moon. Also, that's really, really important. I can make a video about that another time too. But there's a whole cycle. I'm gonna write that down. I always write down these ideas as I'm doing them. By the way, this is like one of my first videos that I've recorded at night. And I've always been a night person. Like, I'm way more intuitive and like flowy at night. Like, the Pisces Mercury comes out a lot more. So let me know what you guys think. Like, maybe I think my day videos are a lot more concise. But I just like to do, you know, I don't like to like have like a lot of rigidity around what I do. I like to have fun. So let me, yeah, where's my notes? But anyways, so what could this mean? What could this mean for you? Because you might be looking, oh, my progressed sun's at 12 Sagittarius, right? Well, you can, first of all, you can go around on YouTube and Google and search, you know, progressed sun in the signs, or progressed sun in whatever sign it's in. But just know, if I'm being honest, it's really just the start and the end. Like, yes, obviously it is very impactful, but it's like, you know, it's whether it's like, so you should look at your progress chart and see if it's moving into a new house in the progress chart. If it's, you know, at the end or the start of a sign, or if it's moving into a new house of your natal. So, for example, let's say that your sun is at your progress sun is at 12 Sagittarius, and let's say at 12 Sagittarius, if we look at your natal chart, let's say that your 5th house starts at, I don't know, let's just call it 12 and a half Sagittarius, right? So that would be very significant, right? And it might not be so obvious without combining the two charts. So I'm trying to like intuitively think of like, okay, like what would someone be like asking me? Oh, okay, progressions, you kind of explained it. So guys, progressions do not diminish. It doesn't take away from your natal chart. Your natal chart is your chart. It doesn't just go away, right? Think of it like your progress chart is who you're becoming. So one example, and your natal chart is who you are, right? So one example is this, right? And let me see if I want to go with Virgo or Libra. Regardless, right? Like, I've seen this happen a lot, whether it is a Virgo sun, like my mother, right? Virgo sun, and you know, she's older, obviously, so she spent, you know, she had, you know, the first you know, 19 or so years with her progressed sun in Virgo, and then it was 30 years in Libra, and then in the last, I don't know, maybe 8 years, it's been Scorpio. And I've noticed that shift from progressed sun, yeah, and it's the same thing like for people I know who are Libras, where they have that shift into Scorpio, right? It just, I love it, you know, because especially like coming from Libra, which, like, nothing against Libra, right? Obviously. But it's just, there's just such a massive difference between Libra and Scorpio. It's insane, right? Obviously, Libra is Venusian. It can be very, you know, and obviously depending on how it works in the natal chart, that's why I always tell people you should get a professional reading if you don't understand yourself. And even if you do, it's really good to get another you know, person to look at it. But so depending on how your whole chart kind of works, you know, especially with respect, like in this instance, to boundaries, to people pleasing, to codependency, some of the potential themes that could be, you know, aligned with Libra in a more negative or lower manifestation, they turn very fucking badass when they go into Scorpio. Like, I've seen it. It's like something shifts in their eyes, and not in an evil Scorpio way, just in a more I'm not going to take shit from anyone way. I've seen it a lot. And I know Scorpio isn't about business, but I'm just saying, like, it's almost like they become like more businessy, like in the sense of just like, or maybe not businessy, maybe that's not the correct term. They're just not like they become more badass. They become more like they become people who are less willing to put up with BS, right? They become people who suddenly you see, and this is also with the progressed ascendant, right? The ascendant also progresses, and that's more related to your ascendant, right? I'm not going to go into that. That could be another video, but you can imagine your ascendant is your personality, how you look, how you act. So when that shifts to Scorpio, also it can be, I've seen that be a big shift. So really understand like where these are, and same goes for Mars, right? Same goes for Venus, same goes for Mercury, same goes, and then the outer planets, they very rarely shift because they move so slowly. But if they do, which, like, for example, let's say that you had like you're born with like a 29-degree Jupiter or something like that, or Saturn, and it's direct, and it shifts, like, whew, that's like, I'm not even going to go into how massive that is, but it can be like an absolute, and it can be something where someone's like, what is happening with me? And they might not, they might not see that. They might not, oh yeah, I want to be further away from the camera. They might like look at, ask an astrologer, like, what is it? What is it? What is it? There's just so many, and they might not notice it, but then it's like, oh, that shifted, right? Besides that, yeah, so you just have to think about the different zodiac signs, right? Let me go through my mind. Let me have a sip of my tea and think of some examples. So, hold on, let me do some math in my head real quick. Okay. Yeah. So, another big shift I've noticed with people is, hold on, let me do one. What degree is it? Yeah. So that shift from Scorpio to Sag is also a very crazy one, because obviously the intensity of Scorpio, is then moved into that lightness and that adventure of Sag. And this is especially true with the progressive moon. That's like the most, and the transit moon that happens, each lunar cycle each month. If you want to know that God exists, just look at current planets, or find, track the planets when the moon's in Scorpio. Feel how it is. These days it's been better, for me and a lot of people I've spoken with, because of Neptune and Saturn and Pisces trining it. So it has tended to be better in a lot of times compared to recent years. But in general, just feel this shift, or like track back in your life when the progressed moon was in Scorpio, and then what was happening in your life during those 2.5 years, right? And then how it was moving into Sagittarius. And with the sun, it can be similar. So yeah, you just have to understand that it's going to be like that, right? Then after Sag is Capricorn, right? And that's a lot more of a serious energy. And then Capricorn is Aquarius, right? So Aquarius is going to be a lot more of, that group orientation, and an air sign, more about communication. I'm not going to go into every single sign, but then, from Aquarius, in Aquarius, Capricorn, you're in a very, it can be not materialistic necessarily, but following society, and really more worried about your place and how you're existing within society. And then Aquarius, it's like all about individualism, right? So you see the shifts in people, right? And it's massive shifts. So like I said, it's only a few times in our life, like I progress sun in Taurus. So this is another important part is that when I've created the video for this. We just haven't, me and my editor, we just haven't done it yet. The one about the elements. Maybe I'll redo it. I don't know if I really felt that good about it, but like missing elements or having too much of an element. But so like my example of having no personal planets, the big three, sun, moon, rising, and then or big six, then Venus, Mars, and Mercury, no Earth, right? But then having my progressed sun in Taurus, do you understand how big of a deal that is for me? Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm just like some like super balanced person. I told you guys before, I'm just way more responsible now. I'm way more self-assured, but it doesn't make me a Taurus. That's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Like, it doesn't make me a non-Sag moon. It doesn't make me a non-Pisces sun. It doesn't make me a non-Leo rising. It doesn't take away my Aquarius, Venus, and Mars. No, not at all, right? But it is very, very important to compare that progress chart or have an astrologer do it with the natal chart and just think like, damn, if I'm looking at that progress chart and that represents who I am today, what does that say about me? What does that say about my life? And you can learn so much from it. I'm gonna screw this. I was talking to a client yesterday, a really, really amazing client about how I never really talk. I don't really say much about myself, but I can't share the screen on this one. See, I have a program I'm using now that's way better for. I need to get a new camera too soon when I go to Colombia, Argentina. Everything is so. It's like the same webcam would probably cost triple, at least double, but maybe triple, and also be like impossible to find. And in Colombia, easy. But okay, so I just want to pull up my progress chart. I haven't seen it in a minute. Because I want to just like explain this to you, like using me as an example. And if you guys please be honest. If you guys don't like me using myself as an example, I don't really like to do it. Like I said, I used to. Now I'm a lot more private about my stuff. Here's my Esme girl. Should we use your chart? And comment again if you guys want to see the Esme video. The Esme documentary. I swear the story is like, it's crazy. Like, it's not, I'm not just saying that. Like, she's not like an average cat. Like, I'm not joking. Like, you guys think I'm joking. I swear 95% of you guys think I'm joking. I have 2 other cats, and Mika is my soulmate. Well, Esme and Mika and Ina. But I'm telling you, this cat and what psychics have said about her, it's actually like insane. Her story surviving she survived like every single one of her siblings, like in the coldest mountains, the coldest winter. She was like this big. Like she was the only sibling to survive. And I don't know if I have one psychic that I've ever truly believed in my life, and she said that Esme is the first time she's ever incarnated in, and this is like literally the best psychic ever. She's retired now, unfortunately. I'm very skeptical. I have like a lot of proof that she's like really, really legit, unreal. I'm sure people watching this like, no, I'm not just saying this. Yeah, she said like Esme has never incarnated in flesh. This is her first time, and she's just pure light. And me and her. Sorry, I'll get back to what I'm saying in a sec. But her ascendant is the exact same, not just degree and minute. Which, if you like, it's like if you look at the degree, it's like 14.21 or 15.21. That's my north node and her ascendant, exactly the same, which is wild. Okay, so my progress chart is all Pisces. Progress sun is in Taurus, right? So it's just like And I'm not going to go into like my life. Like my progressed Mars just moved there. My progressed Venus is there. My progressed Moon is there for another few months. Can't wait till it moves to Aries. And like if you ask me or you ask anyone that knows me, yeah, like it's been the most. And my progressed ascendant is still in Virgo. So this chart reflects like I've been so much more introverted, so much more shy. Like for example, like if I don't go out very much anyways, but like just way more of a homebody than usual. And then it's all in the sixth house. It's like very much about spiritual work, right? So yeah, your progress chart really just shows a lot, and then my Taurus sun is in the eighth house of the progress chart. So that also adds a lot of dynamic because that's where my natal sun is. So yeah. What do you think about that, Esme? So yeah, so overall, understanding your progressed is really important. The same thing can be done with with compatibility, and you can make so a composite chart is obviously the chart that I feel like Esme is like praying to be in this video. What did you say, Esme? She gives me all the messages. What? Oh, okay. Oh, you're telling. I should have worn pants. Esme, go on my lap. Yeah, so let's see if Esme has a message. Esme? Esme? Now you're hiding your face. Hold you like this. She actually does stand up. And in case people are wondering, Esme is a Cancer Sun, Sag Moon, Galactic Center Moon, Aries Mars, Gemini Venus, of course. Because sometimes she can be a little, promiscuous is the wrong word, but let's just say just nice to everyone. But yeah, anyways, what was I just saying? I just lost my train of thought. Doesn't matter. Yeah, okay, compatibility. So yeah, so it can be really interesting to understand the composite chart, it's a chart of two people, if you're in whether it's a relationship, family, work, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's the combined chart, the energetic baby of two people. You can actually look at the progressions with respect to that as well. And it's very, very interesting to see a progress chart of a composite chart. Beyond this, what else can I say? Yeah, it's just fascinating. I mean, even just looking at my progress chart, because I'm not someone who looks so much at my astrology, to be honest. I used to. I just find it fascinating, how much so what can this bring, right? It can bring a lot of hope if you're in a very like difficult time, right? Like if I talk about my life, in not only is my progress chart filled with Pisces and it's just too much. I have nearly every planet in my chart aspected by Neptune, right? And if it's not aspected, it's difficult in a difficult aspect, right? So this Neptune Pisces energy, it's unreal, right? It's like 1,000 out of 1,000 for me. So maybe I would think I was going crazy if I didn't know about this, right? But the fact that I have this beautiful, beautiful tool of astrology, I know that 5, right? So if the moon moves 14 degrees a day, right? That means the progressed moon moves 14 degrees a year. 13, 14, whatever it is. Meaning that 5, so if I'm, or is it 4.5? it was 25 Pisces was my progressed moon. That's like between like a third and a quarter of a year, right? Let's call it like 3 months, 3.5 months before my progressed moon moves to Aries, and then that is like a you know and okay, and I know this is not about progressed moon, but one thing I'll say about just progressed planets in general is I guess this is a lot about the progressed moon. Come to think of it, it's important to note how much your like what link does your progressed moon have with your natal moon. Like, let's say you're a Gemini moon and your progressed moon moves in Aquarius. They're both air signs. That's going to be a lot easier than if you're a Gemini moon and your progressed moon moves into, I don't know, Pisces, right? So, yeah. And lastly, I guess I can just say, kind of that the relationship between your progressed sun and your progressed moon is very, very important. I always tell people when I'm doing a natal chart, we're talking about, and when I'm teaching people astrology, I'm not going to reveal it, but if you're interested, message me either on email, message me on Instagram at @JesseNastro. That's where I have over 2,000 posts. Why does it look dirty? It's not dirty. Over 2,000 posts, been doing it forever. I have so much stuff there. But if you're interested in classes, let me know. It's all only one-on-one. But yeah, like the progressed energy is so it's something that sometimes when I'm doing readings for clients, it feel like when I'm telling people about it, it can sometimes feel a little bit like, is this really resonating? And then they always tell me, like, yes, like this is exactly right. Like I had my client the other day with her progressed moon in Sag, and I was like, so I'm assuming that your progressed moon, before that was in Scorpio, or it was. And I was like, I was giving her the time frame. I was like, I wonder how that was for you. I imagine like that combined with the fact that Pluto is on your moon was extremely stressful. And then she told me this just insane story about how it was. So you can know a lot based on that. And yeah, and I lost my train of thought again. It's 4 a.m. This is what happens when you make a lot of videos in one day. I was like, I got one more in me. And I switch shirts every time too, so you guys probably can't tell. But what was I gonna say? Just gonna fill some space until it comes back to me. Yeah, so what I was about to say, I'll finish with. What I'm teaching people, there's such an importance when you're going through a birth chart to stick to the basics of like, what's the relationship between the sun and the moon? Like even people who are professional astrologers, they lose the simplicity. How important is it to be, to have simplicity? That's when I teach a foundation, right? So you have a very firm foundation, and then from that foundation, it's a science and art. When you have the foundation, you're always able to fall back on that, and then after that, you're able to create your own style and flow, right? So basically, wait, hold on one second. I just need to make sure. Oh my God, my microphone. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. I have PTSD with my microphone dying in the middle of videos. But anyways, okay. What I was saying is that just like in a natal chart, the importance of understanding, your sun to your moon, it's the same thing with a progressed chart. Understanding what your progressed moon and your progressed sun, how they get along, how they don't get along, How, and then just like overall, like how mainly with the moon, but also, like what is the, like, especially like with whatever your progressed sun is, what is the highest energy of that, right? And this goes back to like that, the high and low manifestation series, or just, I know I have like 10 more videos of those to make, but yeah. So I think I'll leave it. What just happened? I think I'll leave it at that. I just got like my headphones are speaking to me. Is this on? Hold on. It is. That was weird. That was weird. My headphones were like speaking to me. I like to have them on when I record videos, even though I just for the sound proof, whatever. But yeah, it was just making weird messages. So, anyways, I hope this helps you guys. Let me know what you guys think. Progressed sun's so important. Yes, most people watching this will probably have it in the middle of a sign. And my answer to you on that is, look, that, you should still understand what that means. It only and just know how sacred those years are, when it does shift. But yeah, just to be aware, for not just yourself, for people you love, and especially if you're training to be an astrologer or interested in that, or just learning more, this is one of the most important and life-changing things that exist in astrology. All right, guys, thank you so much. Hope you enjoy, and I'll talk to y'all later. Ciao from Argentina. Bye.